They take it as an absolute dagger to the heart of my ego, of my capabilities as a footballer, that you think you can take me off in a game. How dare you? Like, that's how these men think. Welcome back to another episode of Rio Presents. We are brought to you by Crafted, our trusted partners, the guys that give us a little bit of a spark on these Monday afternoons. And I'm here with my man, Mr. Joel Bayer, for this episode during the international break where things quieten down a little bit. But England have absolutely blitzed their group, and so they should with the opponents that are in there. 8 games, 8 wins. I think 20-something goals and no goals conceded. I don't know if we've had a better campaign.
I've never seen anything like it, Rio, man. Honestly, there's a fear factor that's definitely developing. After qualifying and Thomas Tuchel's comments, we're starting to see who he's going to pick, right? So it's worth me reading out this quote to you to see whether certain players can play together or not, the likes of Foden, Kane and Bellingham as a trio. So he said, if we keep the structure, they cannot play together. We play at the moment with a 6, 8, a 10 and a 9. We will always do what's best for the team, for winning, for balance, and we will try to keep clarity, even if it means that we have to take tough decisions. Rio, do you agree, yes or no?
I really like Thomas Tuchel. I love the way he's very honest. I'm sure that the hierarchy at the FA are always like holding their breath when he goes into a press conference, because he speaks and he shoots from the hip, and whatever's in his mind, there's no filter. And I absolutely love it. And so the powers that be there, man, and the people that handle the press there must be squirming when he's in the press conferences, because, again, he gets asked the question, he gets told about Jude Bellingham, something happening around after one of the goals, answers it openly and honestly. Mm-hmm. I look back in my generation, I look back at that, that's always that way, Beckham, Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard. Like, you'd argue that they were the best 4 midfielders that we had at that for a long period of time, right? Yeah. But you had Michael Carrick and you had Owen Hargreaves waiting around in the wings, who I feel would have been a better blend with one of those in that centre midfield position. So one of those players should have had to drop out.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. And so I don't think this manager's going to leave it like that. And I don't think he's going to sit there and go, I have to play the best players, the best, biggest names. It's all about the mix, the blend, the balance that makes the best team, and I think it'll go that way. So there's going to be in this summer there will be some noses out of joint.
I mean, obviously you've said that you've gone through it, but do you think it's ever been this clear? You know, during your time, was it a bit wishy-washy? Did we get clear answers, especially as the media? Is it clearer than ever now?
I don't think we've had it this clear for a long, long time. I'm trying to think back to when it was this clear. Probably Glenn Hoddle.
I was going to say.
He's playing what he feels the team needs, not what the media and fans want or expect, and he's not going to be leaned on by anybody. The media ain't going to be able to influence him no matter how much they push. And there's no ego or stardom that's going to be able to weigh him down either and force his hand and make a decision. He's his own guy and he's going to make decisions that's going to try and get this team over the line to win. And I never had this clarity when I played in my teams. Again, I 100% believe, hand on heart, that we were all sitting there in the back of our minds going, should Scholesy really be playing left wing here? You know what I mean? Should he really be out there on the left at times? You know what I mean? Frank Lampard and Stevie, is it really going to work? Because they both want to get on the end of things and score goals. Stevie can play that holding role, but really you're putting him in with a seatbelt on. Do you know what I mean? You're putting shackles on him. So that half of a little split second of thought of negativity could affect the dynamics of the team immediately. I think that the players are going to go in there and he's putting him in their best positions where he feels best suited. That's going to be the best thing for the team. And I think someone like Thomas Tuchel for the golden generation would have been a huge bonus, bringing that clarity, bringing that unwavering kind of focus on what he wants, and unwavering nerve to be able to pick what he feels right rather than what he feels the media might want.
I got a question there. I want to touch on what you just said, Rio. You said that you sometimes question, should Scholesy be playing on the left? Should Gerrard be sitting? How would you have played it at the time? You know, if you had the chance to play, what would you have done?
Earlier on, when Owen was at Bayern, I would have played Owen Hargreaves holding.
Okay.
And I think it depended on the game, Frank Lampard or Stevie. and I'd have played Bex on the right, no doubt. Scholesy off the front, man.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's funny because in today's football, there is a different approach. It's game by game. Back then, it was strict, 4-4-2, diamond. There was no real, fluidity, etc.
We were 4-4-2, bro. We were just straight for that. That was our biggest problem. We were 4-4-2. Do you know what I mean? Owen Carrick would have played later on, but one of those two in the base of the diamond, and I think I would have gone. Depending on the game, if it was there to get goals, Frank plays. If it's there to it's going to be a bit more of a tighter game, and we're going to have to do more in the game. Stevie plays, and Scholes is the other one as well. But then again, if it's a game where you're going to be dictating for a long time, Bex can be, because he's the locksmith. He can unlock things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard, man. Yeah. Scholesy off the front, Stevie off the front. If you want someone to run onto things, it wasn't easy, but I think the shape hindered us as well.
Yeah. One of the biggest headaches in football. Obviously, Brazil, they seem to be more fluid with it earlier on. But I want to ask, would the golden generation have embraced someone like Tuchel with that clarity?
Yeah, because it's the manager making a decision. People don't like some decisions that are made by a manager.
Yeah.
But you get on with it. If it's for the good of the team. He wants the team to win. No manager's in there trying to make his team that can go out there and get beat. He wants to win. Now, what happens is each time he selects a team and someone's left out, that person he feels offended. He feels his ego has been squashed, embarrassed. If that feeling isn't there in those players, what are you doing there? Oh, I understand it. When Jude shows that he's upset the other day to be brought off, he's not happy about it. On one hand, I sit there and go, do you know what? I'd like him to show a better demeanour outwardly in a public setting. But I've been there. It's hard to do that, man. And all you need is the manager to go, listen, don't let that happen again. I've done it in Bayern Munich, and I think it was a quarterfinal. I don't know what game it was, quarterfinal or whatever it was, last 16, Champions League. Arms flying about, weren't happy with what the manager was doing. He absolutely ripped my head off after the game, volleyed me, hair dried a lot, right? But I knew where I stood. I apologised and we move on. And I don't think this is a big issue. If footballers aren't allowed to show emotion at times, even if they're happy with certain things, right? What are we wanting in our game? I've seen Wazza get taken off at times back in the days, and my man would have been bleated and HR might have been brought in. The amount of swearing he's doing coming off the pitch and fuming, in the change room, throwing boots. Do you know what I mean? Cristiano the same. These big players want to play games. They want to score goals. They got things to do. Do you know what I mean? They take it as an absolute dagger to the heart of my ego, of my capabilities as a footballer, that you think you can take me off in a game. How dare you? That's how these men think. So, and I'm not saying it's right, by the way. I'm just saying afterwards, there is a process probably that you should go through as a player and go, listen, guys, lost my head a little bit, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm like. But lads will have that. Do you know what I mean? They would have that.
I think it's easier. It's easier to say it, of course, when you're not the manager. But I'm asking you, Rio Ferdinand, the England manager, or the manager of Manchester United, yeah? How are you taking it, man?
Yeah, I'm not happy with that. Because I go in the change room and he's going to get told. What are you doing? You think you could just roll your arms about like that and think you could listen, we're a team. There's a certain conduct with us and you have to adhere to that and step in line. I don't want to see that. But deep down, on the other hand, I'm still a little bit behind closed doors going, that's what I want from my boys, man. I want the passion. I want them all to want to play. This is what's going to push each other on.
Great.
Because no one's going to get comfortable here. That's what you want deep down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you did this moment is about the manager handling the media. Handle them.
If Tuchel's approach is so good and simple, Rio, then why haven't previous managers done the same? What's the difference between him, Tommy T, and the rest of them?
To withstand the pressures from the media and the stampede for certain players to play or to be a certain way, I think it's hugely difficult as an England manager because there's so much pressure and there's so much focus on this and so much attention. So I understand it when managers have crumbled a little bit or succumbed to the media hype about X, Y, and Z, and it's gone that way. But the big guys, the ones that win things, don't, man. They just do their own thing because they trust in what they're doing and they're not going to waver to an answer to anybody. He probably looks down his nose at the media and looks down in disdain at the media when he's doing his press conferences. He's probably sitting there going, how dare I have to be in a room with these lot? I bet he is. I bet he thinks that. You asking me questions about my team. Come on, mate. You ain't got a clue what you're talking about. I know that he must think that, because I would. I'll be thinking that about half the people in that room. But it's their job. It's what they've got to do. So you've got to respect that and be there and answer the questions.
You know, when we're looking at the England team itself, Rio, who are non-negotiables in your team selection?
For me, I've got to be honest, Harry Kane, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, Reece James, Saka,
Foden. The way Thomas Tuchel sees it is he's had the idea to play Foden more as a false nine because of his experience in managing teams who have played against Foden for those positions. So his actual quote was, I had the idea several months ago because I played against him in these kind of positions. He was really, really tough with his little movements, counter movements, little runs in the pocket, the half turns. You couldn't catch him. Now, how do you see Foden playing in those positions, Ria?
I think he's great in those positions, but you've got to have a team that play a particular style of football for him to be able to play in that position. I think the way that City play, they play that short passing game, loads of runs in certain channels, bodies around him, bodies close to him. I get it. It works. But are England going to play that way? Are England going to play in the little pockets, especially in the big games? Are they going to play, if he's going to be there and he's going to be one of the big games and playing if Kane's out? That would concern me. I wouldn't be concerned if it was for City, not at all, because I think he's brilliant and I think he's the best in the half space. If the ball gets fired into Phil Foden in the half space and he has to turn in one motion and face the back four, there's no one better in England, definitely. So he would be great in there, but it's whether we got those little kind of balls that are pinball in there and players close and the little rotations and whatnot. If it's gonna mirror City, I don't know if it's gonna be that clean. But Phil Foden is you know what I think about him. I think he's a ridiculous talent. He's just like somebody he can do things that not many, if any, of the other players can do. And so you feel with that, there has to be a way that he gets into this team. But it's just where, if the manager's got a style of football playing, sometimes someone's got to be the person that gets the chop. Is it going to be Foden? Is it going to be Bellingham? Is it going to be Palmer? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. All three of them could quite easily play the number 10 role and have a great shout as to why they should be the guy. Do you know what I mean? And if you put their cases forward, Foden, the experience, the big games, he's won multiple trophies, knows how to get over the line in that sense. Ball retention is through the roof, can score goals, can assist goals, can play the ball before the pass for the goal. Then you look at Bellingham, who just... When you need a big moment, I don't know if we've got anyone who can go and get that big moment when it's needed and score the goal and actually say, you know what, I need to be that guy. Actually, if I am not that guy, I'm not happy. Like that big game personality and character, him, again, he can do it all with the ball, power. And I think he brings a fear in the opposition when he's on the team sheet. That's the difference. And I think that's the difference he has over Foden and Palmer right now, is that Jude Bellingham brings a worldwide fear of he's going to be that guy. We're on the back foot a little bit.
Definitely.
Palmer has that in the Premier League, but I don't know if he has that yet on the international stage.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, Palmer's another one with like how smooth he is. The ability to turn again in them half spaces. I think he'd probably be the closest to Phil Foden in that sense, getting on a half turn and being able to thread someone in. He's passing over different ranges is better than Phil's, I think. He's got more of a range. From 30 yards to 4 or 5 yards, he's got it on lock. And he scores. The guy scores goals. If he gets back in the groove, this is a three-way competition for a number 10 shirt. If it's that, it's a difficult call to make, but I'd love to be in a position as an England manager, having to pick from three players like that in a position. And then you've got Morgan Rogers, who's probably the rung lower right now in terms of exposure to the big games, playing at the biggest clubs in the biggest competitions. But who is a great talent and who's probably out of all of them the better ball carrier at running. But it is a good problem for the manager to have. Who do you go with? I think it's got to be game specific. I think you got to put it. When you've got a squad like that, you've got to pick players that are going to suit that game. And I think the big game, I've got to say, I'll probably go with Jude because I know what he's done. He's shown me what he can do in the big moments. Plays at Real Madrid, which has to count for something. And when he plays there, he looks like the man. And I want to see that in the England shirt. And if the system is calling out for that guy in the 10 to be your added goal scorer and threat, he's got. I think he'll probably get a nod in those games. But then when there's other games, because I think you've got to share it out for physical reasons and being able to share the load physically through a tournament and mentally, to be able to call upon Foden and or Palmer as well. Like I've got to be honest, I wouldn't be any of them three playing. I'm not sitting there going, "Oh my God, guys, what are we doing? It's a disgrace." I'm not. I'm going, "Okay, thank you. I'm happy to go to war with this. Happy."
Yeah, definitely stacked. I mean, obviously, you've spoken about who you want to see in the 10 position, but if I was to take have your take for the 6, the 8, and the 10,
I'm going 6, Declan Rice, 8, Foden, 10, Jude Bellingham.
that's a good pick. Do you know what though? I would have
Anderson, man.
Nah.
Wharton. Woof. It's big calls though, man. You know what I mean? But I'm a game specific kind of guy. Okay? Just so you know that.
Big calls, yeah. But Rio, do you know what? I'll go for Rice as the 6, Jude as the 8, because to me, he can do it all. Why not? And I'll go Palmer as the 10, man. Can't leave out Cole Palmer for me when he's fully fit.
You said now. You did say now. That was the caveat. You said now.
Yeah, no. Now if they're all fit, Rio, come on. If they're all fit.
Okay. Yeah. But listen, that's what I said to you. If I switch Palmer in for any of them, I'm in the 8 or the 10. I'm still happy. Like this is a problem, and this is a great place to be for England. Even the front three, like Kane has to stay fit. The way Kane's playing now, can we just do a segment on Kane, please? Because it's going unnoticed. He's got 5 in 5 for his last England games. His goal ratio at the minute for club and country is through the roof. But more than that, I've been watching him for Bayern, and I've been watching him for the last couple of games for England. He's game management now, where he's coming as the 10, he's coming as the 8, he's on the edge of his own box as a 6 almost. He's becoming the playmaker who then gets on the end of things as a number 9 as well. Yeah. He's like he's playing 2 or 3 positions in one game. And the big thing is, both at Bayern and now with England as well in the last couple of games, when he drops deep, there's a reaction. There's a method to that madness. When Kane drops deep, there's a trigger. There's runners. Because this guy, he's got the radar boot on lock right now. And I've said for years, Wayne Rooney, I take him all day. He can do the 9 and the 10. In terms of passing, I think Kane could have a strong argument to be as good or better passer than Wayne Rooney, mate. Because he's passing from deep areas. He's doing some mad fades, some daisy cutters, some getting on fullbacks on their toes, doing their Achilles, stretching for it. Like his passing is a joke. So I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I hope this continues. The way he's playing, forget the goals, the way he's playing, I hope this continues into the World Cup. And I must say, Marcus Rashford has come in for a lot of criticism in the last couple of years. But what he's gone on to do in terms of rebuild himself and continually doing that, by the way, at Barcelona, the way he's integrated into that team now and become a player that they look to. And now we come into the last couple of England games and you're looking at him, he's running at people. He's crossed for the goal the other day, was lovely. Like, and you're thinking, right, that's character. Forget ability. Forget the ability's never been the question with this kid. It's the character he's had to show, the resilience to go, you know what? I've had a bit of a bump in the road. Actually, I've had a huge number of bumps in the road, and I've managed to dust myself down, regain focus, regain some form, regain confidence, and now gradually I'm starting to show people that I am. Marcus Rashford is still Marcus Rashford.
I want to ask a question on that. Do you think he's benefiting from the fact that he's away from the English limelight?
Marcus couldn't do anything right while he was here towards the end, no matter what he'd done. If he went and fed kids anymore, people would have said he's doing it for fame. He's doing it to be in the spotlight. If he'd gone and put a video on of him training, they'll say, he's trying to prove to us that he's working. Is he really working? Whatever he done, and listen, there's certain things that I may not have agreed with what he was doing or what I was rumored to have happened or whatever. But at the end of the day, people deserve a second chance. People deserve that comeback. People deserve to go and put their name back up in lights. Like, he came on the scene and was doing things that were people going, wow, the kids all around the country, not just Man United fans, getting Rashford on the back of their shirts, right? That just don't fall away. But there are things that go on off the pitch that can really impact your playing career. And I'm just pleased that anything that's gone on behind the scenes with Marcus Rashford hasn't derailed him completely and he's just fallen off a cliff. Yes, he fell off the standards. He fell off where he'd got himself to, but he's creeping back up to that. And you're looking at it and going, do you know what? If he times his run as well as Harry Kane's time he's running in the box at the moment, by the time we get to the World Cup, we're going to be a threat, because again, Marcus, the way he's running in behind again, the way he's putting defenders on the back foot immediately. I love this, and it's a different proposition when you've got someone like Harry dropping deep. You need people to run and penetrate. Saka does it. I still want Saka to do more without the ball, running without the ball onto things. But Saka, when he gets it, he's always a threat, man. He's always looks hard to play against. He reminds me of Salah in that. He's stronger than he looks. He's resilient, and he makes... Saka especially makes the right decision when he gets the ball. I remember Julian Lescott saying to me, and it made me look at him more. When Saka gets it, he makes the right decisions invariably. He passes it, his ball retention is really good, and then bang, it's a moment, goal. Keeper makes a save, but he's causing havoc.
Before we finish on the attacking talent, do you agree with Gary Neville's thoughts on Foden? He said this in 2022. If we can't find a starting position for Phil Foden in our national team, I think there's a real problem. He's a generational talent. He is different level in that sense.
At the time, I 100% agreed with it. But because, again, you look at the pool of players about at that time, you had like Jude Bellingham emerging really. Weren't the Champions League winner at Madrid at that time. Do you know what I mean? Cole Palmer, a young Cole Palmer still, right? Inexperienced. Not the leader at Chelsea yet. Do you know what I mean? And then you look at I think Mason Mount was in and around it as well. The caliber of player now that he's going up against for that number 10 spot is a Chelsea leading Cole Palmer, Champions League winner, one of the best midfielders in the world, Jude Bellingham. It's a different type of caliber of player now that he's playing against. So if Foden gets left out for one of those two, I think he's got 100% right to be disappointed and go, hold on a minute, I'm Phil Foden. And I will be saying the same thing. But at the same time, I think he looks across at someone like Cole Palmer and Jude Bellingham and goes, you know what, I can't shout too much because these guys are like big time. They're talking about world-class players, world-class potential, these guys. So it's a different conversation to 2022 to what it is today.
Let's get onto the central defenders, Rio. How important is it to have the right selection for the partnership? I mean, we've got obviously Stones, Gay, Konza. They're all first choice. What selection would you go for?
Stones' experience, I think, will count for a lot. Yeah. I think if he's fit and he's playing, I think Stones has got to be in there because he gets us playing as well. He's played in the biggest games. He ain't going to be fazed by any moments. But I would say it's a free that I'm very comfortable that any three can be the pairing. Any two of the three can be that pairing, and I'll be very happy with it. I think Konza and Gay would be harder to play against than Stones and one of those two guys. But I believe that we're going to have a lot of the ball most of the games, and Stones is the best on the ball out of the three of them. So I think he'll play, and it'll be one of the other two. If I'm a betting man, I'd go Gay.
Yeah, I think he likes Gay, but looking at Konza for me in the last couple of years, as much as I like Gay, I think he's tops. But I think for me, Konza just has a little bit more. He can do a little bit more of what John Stones can do and what Gay can do. He's a fusion of both, if I'm honest. He's better on the ball than Mark Gay. He can be just as aggressive as Mark Gay. And yeah, for me, I think he's
better on the ball than Gay.
Yeah, definitely.
Doing Gay a disservice. I think Gay is just clean on the ball.
He's good. I'm not saying we're talking about top players here, by the way. But for me, I think what hurts Konsa more than anything, I just think his PR's rubbish, bruv. I think he goes unnoticed, which is, like he's not egging for a big move. Like, not to say that Mark Gay does that in a negative way, but I just think his PR isn't as out there as other players. But I think he is very good, man. Very, very.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'd play any two of them, and I'll be happy.
Yeah,
because I think it's that close.
Yeah.
And I think you need that good competition. When you've got three like that, it's always good. As long as one of them don't get injured, I'll be quite happy with that. Yeah. I think that's a better three where they are right now than we had in the last tournament.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how things change, because at one point we were talking about how valuable Harry Maguire is, which he obviously showed his worth. But for example, Konza, he's been praised for his pace and recovery, right? For someone who was fast yourself, you didn't have any issues with recovery because you was always in the right place at the right time. How important is the attribute, especially playing international football?
I think if you're playing a high line and you want to be a high press and you want to play in the opponent's half, there's going to be big spaces at the back. So you need people who can move. That's what I mean. If you play Konza and Gay, I'll be happy because they both can move. And we ain't going to be afforded with the security pace of Kyle Walker in this tournament. That's another thing to consider. Because in the last tournament, the amount of times you got us out of jail with his pace, we're playing on the high line like that. And that's what I mean about experience and knowing when to push in and when not to. Stones, that's where he comes into it a little bit. But it is a good another thing. I think the depth of the squad now is really, really strong. It's really good. Again, whether we're going to do it or not, it's another conversation for later down the line. But good problems, I think, for this manager to have.
Yeah. Right, Rio, I want to move it to Portugal. Now, we got to keep it real here. I know we're talking about your boy. He is going to be the topic at hand, whether or not he played in the last game or not. But after losing his temper against Ireland, he got sent off and Portugal lost 2-0, right, against Ireland. Cristiano Ronaldo watched from the stands as his country qualified with a 9-1 win over Armenia. Now, I messaged you in the group on the weekend. Well, I didn't message you directly. I just kind of like put it in there. I said, wow, Portugal are banging in goals. Bruno Fernandes with a hat trick. You know, we had João Neves with a hat trick. The team just seemed to be flowing more. Is the team better without Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes or no?
Who did they beat 9-0?
9-1, Armenia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are they ranked in the world ranking? Oh, just
no. Wait. I did say in the group chat, by the way, I said, Rio, yes, they would have beaten him regardless, because I knew this was going to be your comeback, by the way. I said, yes, they would have beaten him regardless, but as a team, they look much more fluid. I just got air. Tumbleweed. That's all I got.
No, I think this is a good problem for Martinez, the manager of Portugal. Like, I think it's good to see the team without your most impactful, influential player. Cristiano is the captain. He's a talisman of that team, rightly so, right? But you do want to see how the team responding. What if he gets injured? He's 40 plus years old at this point, yeah, when they're kicking aboard the World Cup. So they're going to have to see him. Also, he's suspended now, I think, for the first 2 games. So they're going to have to see this team without him. How are they going to play? And I think the biggest thing is if they go into the World Cup and they win their first 2 games and play really well, that's when Roberto Martinez will be earning his money, because he's got a big decision to make then. It'll be whether he brings Cristiano back in, or does he go, no, the team are doing really well. Cristiano, you can come in, you can impact this. You can score goals when the other teams are looking a bit tired and jaded and weak. Punish. You come in and punish teams. And so it'll be interesting to see.
How does he handle this narrative though, Rio? Because that could happen, you know, and you're dealing with the GOAT.
So in the tournament, if it starts and they win their first 2 games, right, and everyone's going, right, well, what's he going to do? It's easy for him to go, guys, I've won the first 2 games. I'm going to stick with the same team. These guys are doing well right now. And Cristiano is going to play a part, by the way. He could easily say that. Or he goes, no. It ain't been going too well. I can see chinks in our armour. Cristiano needs to be in here to steady the ship. That experience, we need it. Best of both worlds for him. He can't. I don't think he can lose in that situation.
Anyway, Rio, I think that's it for this week. Obviously, the Premier League's coming back soon. Big games for my team. You know what I mean? We got the North London derby, then we got Bayern Munich. So when you was talking all that Kane talk, where had a little bit of sweat rolling down there. I don't know if you noticed. And then we got
It'd be
Chelsea.
good to see because Corinth and Company is doing a ridiculous job. Signed a new deal there, like they're absolutely flying, right? And are they flying too early? Are they peaking too early? We'll have to wait and see as the season goes on. But even my team, Man United, I think the run they've got now, next 8 games, some winnable games, you'd say in the next 8 games when you look at the fixture list. You know what? It's mad. People say, did you look at the fixture list, Rio, at these times and go, we can win there? I didn't do that, man. Next game, who we got? Right, 3 points. Next game, 3. Yeah, got to get 3 points there. You tick the games off. You can't look too far ahead, man. Shit, things change.
Rio. No. Is that true, really? Tell me you didn't have a sneaky look 3-4 weeks down the line and thought, what this team, Bolton, they're getting slapped back. To be fair, Bolton were actually a hard team to beat, so I can't even say them. But
my thing was I'd look for the big teams. When we got Arsenal away, when are we for a couple of years out of a few 13s I was there, or Liverpool away is always a big game in our calendar. Do you know what I mean? Like Chelsea, when have we got there? All the other games just morphed into blur. It was a blur, really. Like, okay, I don't really care about. We have to do what we got to do anyway. But I just want to know when them games are.
I understand. But we got some big videos coming out this week on the channel. I got a preview in the group chat. I saw a thumbnail with you and Sadio Mané, bro, and it looked like you was in his yard, in his drum. I thought, what is going on here?
Yeah, man, he's just bought a new house with his Saudi money, man. New house, new Saudi money. Man's living large.
Wow.
Large and in charge.
Wow, love that.
You know what? One thing that left me when I left his house, what came with me, and thought I need to come back. The smell of mummy's cooking in Sadio Mane's house was a madness. I got to go back. So when I'm back in Riyadh, I told him, Sadio, I'm coming back. I need mummy's cooking, man, because it was. I had to get a flight, so I had to rush out. Yeah, but the way my belly was pulling me back in the house, to say, Rio, feed me before we get on that plane, was a killer. So I'll be back there.
Love that, man. And for everybody watching, just remember that Rio Meets is not just to sit down with a player. We actually get to sit down and understand their lifestyle. And look, this time round, he's had a tour around Mané's house. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. Is the video coming out over the next couple of weeks, would we say?
Yeah, we've got to talk to the admin as to when it's dropping. But yeah, it will be there shortly. So stay tuned. Notifications on, guys. And that Sadio Mané Rio Mates interview will be dropping shortly.
Thank you very much. Joel Bayer, Rio Ferdinand. Make sure you follow all socials. We're signing out. Peace.